Oh, the most dangerous cartel leader, El Mencho, was taken down by Xevi? I don't know. My bad if I mispronounced that. I'm sorry. I'm not good with names. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. We'll go in. I got no idea. Obviously, I know what's going on in Mexico, right? I think most people have probably seen what is going on in Mexico and all the stuff that's been happening and like the people being in danger and stuff. I think we're aware of that. But yeah, let's see it. Let's see it.
Meet the man who ran one of the most violent cartels in modern history, Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, aka El Mencho. And you see, El Mencho was no ordinary cartel boss. Let me put it to you like this. His group, the CJNG, was worth $50 billion. You know how much crime you got?
That is a lot of money. I wonder if that is a lot of money. He has been doing a lot of crime. And the worst part is, it doesn't even look like that, right? Here's the thing, if I see like a crime boss, I'm imagining like a literal absolute giga chad, but like this could be literally your neighbor. This could, like, looks wise, this could literally be your neighbor, which is crazy.
Gotta do to make $50 billion? So the United States and Mexico had a problem. They got together, they said, now El Mencho doing too much. United States said, so Mexico, let us know what he be doing down there. Mexico said, well, for starters, he be selling that stuff. The United States said, well, of course, where he be coming to Texas, California, Mexico said, no, he be selling all over the world. He be in Africa, he be in China, he worldwide with it. United States said, $50 billion, yeah, that makes sense. Mexico said, yeah, and don't get mad, but he also be stealing oil. The United States said, oil. What y'all need?
Oil? Do the Mexican cartels need freedom? And freedom was brought, apparently. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, you know, the fact that like they work together to take him out. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because all of the drugs that are being smuggled into the US. Surprising. I know. The consequences, however, are shit. Because, like, I know that a lot of innocent people's lives are now at risk. Because the people are going crazy.
The CIA, the FBI, we got to put aside our differences. The United States and Mexico locked in. But CIA, this CIA, that, El Mencho was not going to be easy to capture because you're not listening. I said $50 billion. This man basically had his own private military. They even got their names on their uniform. They weren't hiding.
Yeah, I also wonder, 50 billion, that might be pretty decent also. That might essentially be, like, some countries' GDP, which is crazy, right? Some of the poorer countries. It wouldn't surprise me.
About it. I gotta blur out half this picture. That man had an RPG. Oh, and they weren't afraid to use their too. In fact, that's what makes it so tough to take out cartel bosses because of retaliation. It's basically the threat of you mess with us, we burning it all down. But that does not mean Mexico has not been trying. They've been trying for many, many years to capture El Mencho. But every time Mexico ups it, El Mencho doubles it. They sent the police after El Mencho. They caught one of his people. El Mencho said, okay, then we're going to catch the police. So El Mencho's group, the CJNG, were blocking roads and police officers. The Mexican government said, okay, so we're going to send the army. El Mencho said, bet, I'm going to send the army too. It's just going to be my army. El Mencho started rocket launching army helicopters out the sky. The United States said, damn, how about we try this our way? You see if there's...
Why is he here again? No! Not the guy again! Not the hummus of somebody's rectum! No! He's here again. Horrible. Anyways, interesting. Regardless, I am oddly intrigued how they got him. Because, like, they didn't just do, like, a half an hour job, right? I'm assuming. And, well, they did take him out, I heard. Right? They did delete him. Right?
One thing you got to know about the United States is it prides itself in gathering intelligence. And what that looks like a lot of times is finding out a target's weakness. In El Mencho's case, it was a woman. Now, people aren't exactly sure if it's this woman, but...
Classic. Classic. The biggest trouble of a man is a woman. The biggest weakness. It doesn't surprise me. Again, I'm not surprised.
But you get the point. So the United States CIA said, look, he got a girl. Let's follow her around. And here's where things start to get wicked. They start following her around. She go to the store. They go to the store. She go to the laundromat. They go to the laundromat. She go and visit El Mencho. They go and visit El Mencho. And now it's time for our story break. Look, if you're dealing with random banking fees that may hit every time you make a mistake, then it might be time to switch things up. And that's where today's sponsor, Current, comes in. You see, Current is a banking app that works with you, not against you. How does it work with you, you ask? Well, great question. See, for starters, Current's got something called a fee-free overdraft, meaning no overdrafts up to $200, more money in your pockets. You can also get up to $750 advance on your paycheck if you qualify. Plus you get paid up to 2 days faster direct deposit. Good stuff. So if you're managing your finances or just straight up looking to upgrade your banking experience, get Current. Sign up at current.com/Xevi and use my promo code XEVI to get $50.
Oh, so it is Xevi. Okay. Understood. Then for next time I can remember this if I do react to another video of his. Okay, that's good.
And unlock tools like Paycheck Advance, fee-free overdraft, and more. Now back to our story. El Mencho's girl just kept going to this place in Mexico called Tapalpa. They said, Tapalpa? Ain't nothing in Tapalpa. Or is there? So they gather up the whole crew. They gather up the army, they gather up the police force, and they start rolling deep. It was off to Tapalpa, but the roads started getting blocked and all that. They said, we getting close. More roads blocked by burning cars. The CJNG was trying to slow down the Mexican forces. But not this time. The Mexican forces blitzed through and found El Mencho in a compound with his army, and a firefight ensued. It was like a scene out of a movie. Explosions.
Interesting. So they just eventually did find him. Interesting. So how is this going to take place? Right? We have obviously basically a fight there, right? And I'm assuming he didn't have that many people there. Otherwise this would have been very troublesome.
RPGs going off, army versus army. Eventually, when the dust settled, the Mexican army took El Mencho into custody, but he had a lot of injuries, and as they were trying to transfer him, he got from his injuries. And well, as the Mexican government feared, the CJNG said, well, you mess with us, we're burning it down. So the CJNG went on a spree of burning down cars, blocking roads, just causing chaos in Mexico. 25 Mexican National Guard members were the retaliation is real. But Mexico, as always, continues to stand strong and is putting up a hard fight against cartels. As for El Mencho's legacy, the CJNG, his cartel group, people are worried about the power vacuum that has now arisen since El Mencho was... People have...
See, the problem, right? The problem is, right? Now he's gone, right? Now he's gone. But somebody else will take up the mantle and just continue. Which is just the usual thing that's going to happen. Is that somebody else is going to continue. Somebody else is going to pick it up. That's like the problem, right? If you have a group like that, you would really need to get rid of the entire group. Jail every single person, seize their assets, seize all their money, their everything, right? So like, unless you know where their money is and where all the resources are and you take care of that, it's going to be hard for there not to be a replacement. And somebody's going to definitely continue.
No idea who's going to take over where. El Mencho's son, who would have been a favorite to take over, is actually in custody by the United States. The Mexican government captured him a few years back and sent him to the U.S. So that leaves El Mencho's inner circle and close family. People are worried that a couple people are going to go at it because remember, $50 billion is what El Mencho's group was worth. When you're talking about $50 billion, people are going to be very desperate to try to lead that organization. I want you to take a look at this map. It shows how much influence El Mencho's group, the CJNG, had. Let me show you a quick, easy way to read this map. You see this little gray space right here? That's the only part of Mexico that the CJNG didn't have influence over. Everywhere else in this map basically means their territory. And remember, their influence is also worldwide. Africa, China. I saw a shirt that said CJNG for Africa. Like their organization was an organization. They made t-shirts. You see, really what I'm trying to have you understand.
You're saying they have merchandise. But they are essentially then operating everywhere. China is, though, really odd. China is really, really odd. But interesting, but really odd. I'm gonna be honest.
Is somebody's going to want to take over that group. And if there's a war within the CJNG to take over that group, it can get really, really violent. Remember, they have military arms. But there's something else that made the CJNG dangerous. It's the fact that El Mencho was a centralized leader. El Mencho basically held all of the power in his cartel, and that could be a very dangerous thing. Basically, it's kind of like this. A lot of people may know the name El Chapo, who is the leader of the Sinaloa cartel. In El Chapo's case, in the Sinaloa cartel, it was like a federation. There were so many powerful families under the Sinaloa cartel. When El Chapo was taken down, the Sinaloa cartel basically split into these different families. You see, under a federation, if things split, things can split. It's like if the United States, for some reason, decides.
So, yeah, so, like, it's basically, well, not democracy necessarily, but, like, multiple people hold the power and multiple people can decide. But if it's just, like, centralized, only one dude has the say. So whoever takes over can do anything they want. There's nobody stopping them from wreaking havoc, essentially. That's bothersome. That's very troublesome. There are more gray areas. Isn't there another? There's like two more small gray areas. Am I blind? Like, you know, like this one is gray and this one's gray. And obviously this one's gray. Every else is a little darker. The lighter ones are probably less, and the really dark one's probably the most influence. I'm saying. I'm seeing, and there's also one that's like, not just wait, that's water. um, yeah, I'm assuming that this part is probably the most controlled of my assumption.
To split into 50 states, everyone would just go their own way. But in El Mencho's case, he was basically like the king of his cartel. That means winner takes all. Whoever leads that cartel has everything. There ain't no powerful factions. The king rules the country, the king rules the country. It don't split. But to make matters worse, let's say for some reason, even if El Mencho's group, the CJNG, disappears, that's going to leave a power vacuum in itself. So other cartel groups that are still in Mexico are going to want that number one spot as well. So much money is made with people selling that stuff. It always seems like there is a group that pops in every few years that takes over the entire landscape. Basically, as long as there's a massive amount of money to be made, there's always going to be somebody out there that wants.
Practically. And also, like, the question comes up, right? The question comes up. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who's inside that cartel. It could be another smaller cartel taking over and being like, yeah, I'm going to seize all their assets. I'm going to take everything they have and I'm going to incorporate them into my cartel. That is always an option.
To make that money. So it's just a very, very tough situation when it comes to cartels and Mexico. So people are keeping a very close eye on the CJNG and seeing how the power divides amongst them. But either way, I hope the best for the citizens of Mexico and hope this problem gets solved.
Yeah, let's hope that it does get solved. The problem is just overall, for now, they're going pretty crazy from what I've heard, right? They're targeting, like, the civilians too, and, like, people are advised to stay at home. Yeah, we just have to see. But I don't think it's gonna disappear, right? The guy's gone, but like at the end of the day, somebody else is gonna pick up the mantle and just continue. That's just the harsh reality of it all. Unfortunately, that is unfortunately how cartels seem to work, and like crime syndicates, whatever you want to call them. Crazy though, crazy. They got him.